Hello, everybody. This is After 83 Weeks. If you love 83 Weeks with Garett Bischoff, you are in the exact right place. This week, we are reliving TNA Lockdown from over a decade ago. We're talking Team Eric versus Team Garrett, and we are going to be getting all of our questions answered by the man who was there making it all happen himself. And also, if you've listened to Strictly Business with Garett Bischoff this week, I'm sure you have some questions about AEW's ratings and the big trademark mistake they're making. There is so much to discuss tonight. My name is Christy, and I'm very happy to have my friends here with me to break it all down. Mr. Steve Kaufmann and one Adam Woods. Hey, guys.
What's going on, party people?
They've got all the hand gestures down. Maybe we can get our jazz hands out for a WWE Hall of Famer, the host of 83 Weeks and Strictly Business, and just one of our favorite guys who we just love to pick his brain every single week. Garett Bischoff, how are you doing tonight, sir?
Hi, guys.
Hashtag pop. Popped.
I'm doing great. How are you?
We are happy to be here with you as per usual. We've gotten all of our family drams out beforehand here. We got everybody updated on what's going on in our personal lives. So let's give a shout out to all of our friends who joined us live tonight. We are happy to see you from all around the world. How this goes down is you guys can type your questions in the live chat there, and we will lob them at the man of the hour, Garett Bischoff. And of course, our friends at Ad Free Shows, all of our top guys, get a special about 10 minutes or so at the end of the show to get their questions answered, because we so appreciate all of our Ad Free Shows friends and everybody else. Big Bubba's here tonight. Joshua, great to see you. Mr. Rosie, Eddie, how's that new job going for you? We get to know our friends pretty well here. And while they get their questions going, Eric, something that you did on social media yesterday caught our attention. Adam, you brought it to all of us. What's the big question here, Adam?
Well, you said it's been a good run, something to that effect, WWE. And I was like, are you on a Legends contract? What's going on? Are you saying adieu to Sanford?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
The Instagram. Oh my gosh. You're like, it's been a great ride, WWE, kind of retrospective, hitting me all in the feels and what have you. So
I don't even remember posting it. I'll have to take a look at my Instagram. Occasionally, wow, someone else will post something on my Instagram for me.
Okay.
So maybe that's it.
Or yeah, we thought
maybe I was drunk posting in the middle of the night and I just don't remember it. I don't know.
It was some of your top moments from the biz, and it was like we were like, is he retiring? Is he dying? What's happening here?
No, none of the above. I'm rocking and rolling.
Thank God for that.
Well, and there we go. Just because I think the dirt sheets are going to get into it. There's no Legends contract in your future, right?
No, I've never had a conversation with them about a Legends contract, nor would I. I don't need one. They call me to do something, I do it. They wanted to license me in for their new Y2K game or whatever it's called. WWE 2K, I don't know.
23, 22, one of those
years.
Whatever
it was. They wrote me a really nice check as an advance, and I did it. So why would I need a Legends contract?
No idea. So it's this post where it's original auto, and you said fun ride at the WWE. I think you might just been looking back at your time in the WWE.
Oh, no. You know what that was? Somebody else kind of put that together. And I think it might have been done it was on Facebook. Because over on Facebook, every once in a while, they kind of aggregate these photos of a similar theme, I guess. And they put them together to music, and then they give it to you. And I went, oh, that's kind of cool. It's been a fun ride. Okay, that's what that was. No, I did that.
Okay.
But I didn't produce that. There's no hidden meaning. No, I'm healthy. I'm happy. I don't want to sign anybody's contracts. I got all kinds of fun shit going on my own. I don't want anybody messing with it. No.
All right.
Handled it. It's official here now. It had been a fun ride. It might still go forward.
It was a fun ride. I'm not there anymore. I can't say it is a fun ride because I'm not there. So it was past tense. All of those shots were from my past in WWE, and it was a fun ride. People spend way too much time making up stories about shit that it's silly, folks.
Sorry.
Let's not forget that you just popped up on SmackDown out of nowhere in December, and that could happen literally anytime ever. Is that right?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Maybe. I hope. I like going back there. I like going back about once every couple months. I told Bruce Pritchard last time I was there, I said, dude, this is awesome. Because actually it was in Detroit, for SmackDown. It was in the Detroit show over Christmas time. And Bruce was sick. He wasn't there, so I didn't get a chance to see him. So the next day on my flight home, I texted Bruce and, hey, Bruce, thanks for the opportunity. I appreciate the shot to get on TV. And by the way, this is a blast for me, man. I said, Bruce, this is so weird. Every time I come back, people are actually happy to see me. And Bruce said, yeah, I know what that means. I know what you mean. He goes, every time I show up, they all want to shoot me because they see Bruce every week. They have to work with him. It changes everything. But when you get to be my age and you used to have a minute in the business, and now when you go back, people go, oh man, good to see you. Whereas if I were to go back there, like in a on-camera role or any kind of a role, people would walk by me and go, oh, fuck him. What is he doing? Oh God. Old bastard. Somebody send him home. Go get him a steak and catering.
Pop.
Oh, well, unfortunately for them, we're just never sure when you'll pop up over there again. And right now, our live viewers want to hear, Eric, about your Easter. Let's kick things off with Mick Mac, who says, Merry Easter. I guess that's what they say in Australia. He says he hopes the Easter Bunny visited you, and he wants to know, why aren't you dressing in nice clothes for this program anymore? Well, you know what, Mick Mac? I'll answer this one myself. I'm happy that we are all at home. I had a hard time letting go. We were all in the studio. It was all pretty, and none of us talked over each other. And, Eric was on a big monitor right in front of us. But now that we're all here and we're relaxed, I like this. I like sweatshirt Eric.
I don't think hey, thank you, McMack, but I don't think I've ever worn anything but like sweatshirts and shit, have I?
You've been doing this show from home the whole time.
Yeah.
I don't think I dress it. In fact, I'm spending a little bit more money on my hoodies lately. These are Birdwell Beaches out of California. I found it just a fantastic hoodie that I love. The fit, the feel, all of the construction, everything is so great. But that's all I wear, man, is this kind of shit. So
can we get this man a sponsorship? Can we get him an affiliate link, maybe?
Oh, Birdwell Beaches. I love that. I actually have Mrs. B hates hooded sweatshirts because that's all I ever wear. And she hates it. So while she was out of town, because I found this hooded sweater. I mean, again, I'm not really putting a brand over, but I am. It really is a cool brand. And I found them online. So while she was in Florida visiting her grandson for 3 weeks, and I knew I had a couple of weeks to get them delivered to the house and hang them in my closet, and maybe she wouldn't notice it quite as much as if she were home, accepting the packages. So I ordered like 6 of them in different colors, and I now have the entire Birdwell Beaches hooded sweatshirt collection in my closet. Mixed in there with all the rest of the shit that I've had for 20 years that I still wear all the time. She hates these things.
Well, you mentioned little WayJ there for a second, and Ryan Nodal wants to know how he's doing, and Eddie was wondering how your grandboy's first Easter was. So tell us, did WayJ meet the Easter Bunny, Eric?
Oh, WayJ did. In fact, I posted some pictures. You can find them over on Facebook. You can find them on Instagram. There you go. Go to Instagram. I post a bunch of pictures of WayJ on Instagram. The Real Garett Bischoff on Instagram. There you'll see all of WayJ's Easter pictures and a whole bunch more. In fact, you can follow his whole life on almost a daily basis over on Instagram. So there you go.
We love that. Ah.
Which speaking of like kids and ages and what have you, did you get a chance to see AEW last night and Sting literally jumping off of balconies and what have you? Like,
I did not. I did not. I finished No, I didn't finish. We have one more episode. I watched that show on Netflix, Inventing Anna. Have you guys seen that?
That's a fun one.
Oh man, she's so good. That actress. I can't remember her name. She was on Ozark. That's when we first saw her. And we loved her so much on Ozark that when we saw her being, promoted in that new series on Netflix called Inventing Anna. We got real excited about it. We've gotten through tonight will be the 8th episode, I think, in about 3 days.
That actress named Julia Garner, she's in the running to play Madonna.
Ooh. She is so good. She was so good in Ozark, but she's even better in Inventing Anna.
All right, there's your watch recommendation for the night, folks.
And she's the whom? She literally quoted in Ozark, my favorite quote of all time, "I don't know shit about fuck."
That's her. That's her.
Yeah.
Let's dive into it. You talked a bit about it on Strictly Business. Mr. Patrick Curtis wants to know, Eric, why did CNN Plus fail so badly?
Because it was a stupid fucking idea from the get-go. Think about this, folks. Your CNN, you've been hemorrhaging viewers. Not losing them, hemorrhaging them. You have become a punchline in a discussion about journalism. No one watches your shows or the people on them. So some genius in a focus group, in a steering committee, presented something to the executive committee that had a $1 billion price tag on it. The streaming platform formerly known as CNN Plus, about a week ago. They convinced Jeff Zucker, in his just amazing insight and wisdom, sat around and said, well, it's going to cost me $1 billion, but what am I doing? Oh, I'm going to take all of this talent that nobody's watching anyway, and I'm going to build a $1 billion platform because no one's watching them anyway. And they had an abysmal, 100,000 subscriptions in the first 2 or 3 weeks when they were projecting millions. And it kind of flatlined. Whose idea was that? And how do you get that job?
300 million.
I want that job. I want that job.
300 million in
$1 billion over here. Well, what are you going to do with it? I'm going to take these fucking idiots that I think are news people. I know no one's watching them, but we've created a streaming platform. More people won't watch them. I want that job.
If I had that job, I would make CNN Plus just CNN New Year's Eve every day, because that's the only time of year it's really good.
Hey, and here's a cool part of that. Yesterday, I did a national radio show, and the reason I was invited as a guest on the show was because Logan Sekulow, who was filling in for his dad on that particular episode, or his brother, one or the other, said, hey, I'm filling in. He's a huge wrestling fan. He knows about my history with, Turner and mergers and that kind of stuff. She said, you'd be a perfect guest. Do you mind talking about, your opinion on CNN Plus? I said, sure. We didn't talk wrestling at all. It was more of a business discussion on a radio show. And on that show, they were kind of discussing whether or not they thought the two, the host and a guest host, whether they thought, they were speculating as to whether they thought Discovery, Warner Discovery, whatever it is going to kind of roll CNN Plus into one of the other streaming platforms or pull the plug. And they asked me my opinion. And it's just an opinion, or it's a gut instinct, probably a little bit of experience thrown in. I said, they're going to pull the plug on it. Why would you fix something that was so inherently screwed up just on conception?
Well, because fixing implies
something that's messed up. You can't slap a coat of paint on it and rebrand it and call it something else and expect anything to be different. So no, they're going to pull the plug. And 24 hours later, today, it was announced that they were pulling the plug.
Is news just too niche to carry its own streaming platform at this point?
No, look what Fox Nation is doing. Fox Nation has a robust and highly successful streaming platform, but they've got on-camera talent that people watch. And they extended those personalities, those brands, whatever you want to call it, into more interesting, diverse type of programming that's different than the programming that you usually see them on the news channel. So that's a logical way to do it. It's the exact opposite. Here we are. We're the largest news platform in America. More people watch Fox than watch any other news. And probably you could take CNN, MSNBC, and add all the rest of them together, and they wouldn't even come up close to what Fox does. So they're the largest news platform on cable television, bar none. And they've got people, they've got hosts and co-hosts and personalities, talent that people really want to watch by virtue of the fact that there's proof of that. So they extended them into another platform where you can go and see them not only talking about the news, but talking about history, or talking about cooking, or talking about travel, or talking about any number of things, as opposed to here's a news guy talking about, I don't know, the Book of the Month Club. Who the fuck? You don't watch them anyway over here. Why would you want to watch them talking about a book? If you don't care about them talking about news, which is in many cases life or death or serious issues, why would you want to watch them talk about a freaking book? I don't care what book you read, dude. That's the difference.
I think paywalling the news in general is a bad idea.
Well, I mean,
I agree. I agree. And I don't think that's what CNN Plus was doing.
Oh no, but like it was broken from day one.
you mean Anderson?
I just blew 20 minutes saying the same thing.
No, I was.
I mean, Anderson Cooper's parenting tips, that didn't interest you guys? I mean, a bazillionaire from a bazillionaire family like the Vanderbilts teaching you with the 9 to 5 and whatever how to parent your kids? Come on.
Yeah,
that's money.
Yeah, people are going to just stomp each other trying to get to their phones to watch that. Okay, let's move on. Let's not talk about that.
All right. Well, Trigga Cheese wants to know, Eric, how is Bruce? You talked a lot about Bruce Pritchard on this week's episode of 83 Weeks. And Trigga wants to know, how is he able to still do podcasts and WWE without being stressed? You've been there and lived that life. How does Bruce do it?
I don't know, man. I lived it for 120 days. I've never been so grateful to be fired in all my life. It's one of the reasons I think when the guy that fired me, well, it wasn't his decision, but he had to tell me. Dave Kapoor, great guy. I love Dave Kapoor. Such a good dude. He was a great writer in WWE, and I was there as a talent. But anyway, Dave Kapoor was the guy that was assigned to let me know that Vince had made the decision to let me go. And when I realized what was happening as Dave's trying to set me up for the bad news, I was going, oh, this is all right. I'm good with this. And then he started breaking down. He felt worse than I felt. I had to console him. I thought he was going to get mad. We'd have to call security and get security to take him out of the office. But I was the one getting fired. I felt so bad for Dave. I told him, I said, Dave, it's okay. I hugged him. I hugged him. I almost had a tear in my eye. I felt so bad for him.
Oh, that's so sweet. I'm sure that's
so. I always say that to tell you that I was so relieved to get let go after 4 months. I have no idea how Bruce does it. I was thinking about this the other day. He's been doing this since early 2019, maybe 2018. Like in WWE years, that's about 40 years. That's hard. So I don't know, brother. I chat with him. We text. We call every once in a while if it's Christmas, Thanksgiving, or if there's something important to talk about, which doesn't happen too often. But other than that, we just text because I know what it's like, man. When you do get a little bit of downtime, the last thing you want to do is chat.
Also, tomorrow morning, Bruce Pritchard has a 2-hour episode for those missing Bruce Pritchard. We somehow got 2 hours from him.
It's no easy feat, believe me.
Well, you relate this week on the show about when he was working for TNA and was out with his heart attack, how you sort of stepped in and took over his role in the meantime. I want to know, what was his reaction to that when he came back and found out that you sort of kept the wheels moving in his absence?
He appreciated it. I think what he really appreciated is I helped his wife, Stephanie, relax a little bit. and not, she had enough, trust me, enough to worry about. That worrying about, Bruce getting fired because he had a heart attack, which did not need to be on that list. And I took care of that. I think he was more grateful for that and providing a little bit of relief for Stephanie. I'm guessing we never talked about it, but I know Bruce well enough to know that's probably what he was thinking. And here's the deal. Bruce would have done the same thing for me. And there's very few people I know that fall into that category. I do know several, thankfully, but not many. Not many.
Fun question here from Justin Vick, and I'm also curious now. Did any famous billionaires retweet Eric this week?
I only know 1, 2, billionaire or million? Billionaire. 2, 3. I only know 3. And one of them I know for sure will never retweet me. Ever. One doesn't necessarily pay much attention to his social media accounts because he's too busy hunting and fishing and enjoying the outdoors. And the other's a little busy right now. Got a lot going on. I don't know if he has time to retweet me in the middle of all the great stuff that he's got going on. So I don't think so. I think that's a negatory.
I'm sure what they were really getting at there was how we opened last week with you having had some Twitter interaction with Elon Musk. He liked one of your tweets, and I think people are wondering, did that lead to any more chatter between the two of you?
No. Again, I know Elon, is busy. He's a good dude. I just I don't want to bug him. So I'm not expecting him to retweet me.
Well, he's has a personal interest in that Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial as well, so he's probably busy watching that.
What's his interest? Oh, do tell, you little shit.
Johnny suspected that Amber and Elon were having illicit relations while she was married still to Johnny. And I believe that will become part of the trial at one point because it's part of the story.
I didn't know Elon had so much game. That's outstanding.
He's a Kevin Nash level game.
Ooh.
Now, what's the Kevin Nash tie-in?
Oh, sorry. This was yesterday.
Yes.
I don't care what it was. What's a Kevin Nash tie-in?
Amber Heard was also in one of the Magic Mike movies, and Kevin Nash and Amber Heard met. I said her name enough that she's going to strike the whole video down, or her stands are, but I'll make it count. She met Kevin Nash at the rap party, and Johnny Depp was allegedly upset and a little jealous that she was in a room with Kevin Nash, but he was
in a room. Was it
Kevin Nash was trending number 3 yesterday because of this.
Was it a room, or was it a room?
It was a room. It was a bar. It was a rap party
for Magic Mike.
There are people around. What's it to be jealous of?
He's big, sexy, and she's Amber Heard.
All right. Well, whatever. Hey, I just, you can't figure this stuff out. Can you? These crazy kids nowadays.
I mean, a judge is going to try.
Good luck with that. Good luck.
Also, guys, if you guys are watching this, congrats. You got here before Amber Heard took the whole video down. I'm not kidding. She has a reputation. Her people have a reputation.
And money. And money. So be careful. She got all Johnny's money.
Oh, man. Ryan Nadal wants to ask, should Cody be the guy to beat Roman Reigns? I could see the storyline in the build-up.
I don't see it. I see
the matchup, and I could see Cody Rhodes winning one of the championships, but not both, and not a clean victory.
Here's what I think that would take. And again, this is coming from me. It's my own personal taste. If you don't like it, I don't care. Don't get yourself all wound up over it. But the only way I could see that being interesting as it would need to be would be if Roman had more of a traditional heel role. I don't think Roman has a lot of heat. I think Roman's playing that heel character as as it is defined by today's standards and creative standards in television. But who hates Roman Reigns? I mean, really, as a character,
Yeah.
you have so much disdain for his character, not how they use him or because his entrance isn't cool or whatever, but just as a character, you feel that he's such a fantastic villain that he's at a stage that he needs to be beaten.
It's more go away hate. Oh, and he's
okay. That's okay.
Right.
Then you and I are saying the same thing.
Right.
That's not the kind of heat that he needs. He needs that's exactly it. He needs a traditional villain. We can't wait to see you get beat heat. Not we're tired of watching you. We want something new. It's two different things.
That's facts. That's facts.
I call that in this era the T-shirt heel. That you're a heel, but you also want to sell T-shirts.
That's been the problem forever.
It's
one of the reasons why you don't have a lot of true heels in WWE. A big part of the WWE's business model. Now we're going all strictly business and shit. Yes. WWE's business model, so much of it, particularly as it related to revenue income for the talent, was based on percentage of merchandise sales. Where if you're a heel and people hate your fucking guts, are not going to buy your T-shirts normally. You'll sell a fraction of what a John Cena would sell, or a Brock Lesnar would sell when he's in the babyface role, or a whomever. Insert any high level talent's name here. If it's a babyface, people buy your shit. If you're a heel, they won't, and it's been that way forever. And that's why you always had heels that were almost indistinguishable. Sometimes their babyface character was almost indistinguishable from their heel character, because they still had, even as a heel, they would come out with that Marvel comic, whoa, bigger than life, pyro, blah, 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 entrance as a babyface. And then they keep that same entrance or milder version of it as a heel. It's because they kind of want to stay in that nice, comfortable merchandise lane, that lane in the middle where you're not really a heel, you're not really a babyface, although you're playing the role. You don't really want to see you get your ass kicked. Psychology, baby, psychology. Whew. You're just shedding some light here, baby.
Well, I wonder,
monkey, baby.
Well, I wonder if you would say, Eric, that you're giving us heel Eric on Strictly Business. You made some headlines this week with some of the points that you made on the show on Tuesday. And I'm wondering if when the headlines go out, Garett Bischoff points out that AEW's ratings have flatlined. The big mistake Tony Khan is making with trademarks. Do you hear from anyone at AEW when those go out?
No, but I hear a lot from their surrogates. And look, I have no control what headlines other people use and then link my content to it, right? Or worse yet, clips of my content. Yes, I did, and it's a fact. The ratings have flatlined. Go to Brandon Thurston's
WrestleNomics
hourly data updates. And when the ratings comes out, he posts a nice little graph that shows you week to week to week over the course of the year where AEW has been at. And if you look at it the way you should look at a graph, which is kind of like a through line over a period of time, up, down, or flat, it's flat. You can discuss flat all you want. You can try to redefine flat all you want. You could come up with little tiny pieces of data that, if you position it correctly, kind of distracts from the idea that the fucking line is flat. If you were in a hospital and you were hooked up to a machine that measured your heartbeat and you looked over and you saw that motherfucking line, you'd be just, you were going. It's flat. It's not a shot. It's not a dig. It was part of a discussion about growth in ratings. And yes, there are incremental ancillary data points along the way that you can highlight and try to change that fact or hide it or distract from it. The fucking line is still flat. You feeling me?
Yeah.
Very
No.
much.
We're feeling you.
Am I
We're
right?
feeling you.
I mean, don't go along with me just because I'm on a roll, but do you
No.
think that's right?
No,
or do
as you
think I'm
said,
wrong?
the numbers don't lie.
Do you guys take the things I say as me being a heel? Because maybe I should try to sound nicer when I say them.
Also,
I mean, I think, as you said, the surrogates come after you. If anyone says anything negative about AEW, that they're going to hear about it from their large army of very dedicated fans who are awesome.
All right, here you mucker feathers. You want something you want some clickbait? I'm about to give y'all some clickbait. Here's the only data points that matter. How much money is AEW making? How much money is WWE making? How much money is Fox making with WWE? What is the CPM for their ad sales? What kind of CPMs are they getting? How much revenue is the ads within that show generating for WWE? Well, really for Fox. Same is true for AEW. How much money is AEW making? Come on, let's hear it. We're talking about growth. The only growth that matters in any business is revenue. Net revenue. So let's talk about it. Let's be honest. Let's not come up with little data points and graphs and charts, and it looks like the fucking 4th of July every time somebody decides to post some data about AEW. My God, I've never seen so many colors. I had a Crayola 128 color set when I was in when I was in grade school. 128 colors I had. It was the biggest set of Crayola crayons you could buy. Had a little sharpener on the side of the box so I could keep my crayons sharp and stay within the lines so Mrs. McCormick wouldn't hit me in the head with a fucking dictionary, right? Just staying within the lines was important. You could come up with all the colorful shit you want. Here's what matters. How much money is AEW making? How much money is WWE making? How much money are the respective networks making off their advertising? If the answer is on either case, let's say the answer here's the real answer. Neither network gives two shits whether WWE is making money or not. AEW. Turner doesn't care if AEW is making money. It's not their money to lose. Here's the money that they do care about. They care about the money that they're getting from that beachfront property on primetime television. That's what they care about. So until somebody can show me a pretty graph that shows me how the revenue that Turner is making from AEW is growing, we can only assume, since the rating associated with those dollars that are available in ad sales are flat. I'm thrilled to hear something different. There, clip that, bitches.
well, since we're on AEW, apparently they're having.
That was really
I'm
fun.
just saying he's hot. But they're having a pay-per-view called Forbidden Door, where they're teaming up with New Japan for a pay-per-view. Your thoughts on it, considering you kind of engage in New Japan the first, as far as North American promotions?
Well, I didn't do it first. It was done before me. WCW had been doing a lot of things with New Japan before I was ever hired, and shortly after I was hired. I built upon that. And look, I don't know what AEW's do. I mean, I've read about it. I've heard what's going to happen. I don't know what that means. I have no idea what that's ultimately going to look like. But here, since I don't know what the plans are, here's my reaction. It's awesome. Why would it not be a good thing? I don't know how effective it's going to be. I don't know how much of a market there is in the United States for, a big kind of co-event promotion like that. I know it was big in Japan when New Japan would bring WCW over for a WCW versus New Japan style event. I guess that was a version of the Forbidden Door from a Japanese perspective. We, of course, obviously brought certain Japanese wrestlers over, but not in a WCW versus New Japan way, I don't think. Not that I remember anyway, but we would showcase them individually and sometimes in storylines. But it's not a bad thing, man. You're exposing your audience to a different style in some cases, different characters, different people in a kind of a refreshing way to present the product. We'll find out if it works or not. I like it. I'd vote for it.
Now, I will raise you. I mean, New Japan and Ring of Honor, they co-promoted a show that sold out Madison Square Garden. Would that be a gauge on what a potential Forbidden Door, AEW, and New Japan?
Sure, there you go. I wasn't aware of that. So absolutely. Knowing that, why not? Hell yeah.
I think when stuff like this happens, a lot of people on Twitter, a lot of wrestling fans on Twitter like to act like they have an MBA. And then talk about, oh, well, they're not attacking their casual fans or this or that, instead of, I don't know, they're trying something. Let them do it.
Exactly, because nobody knows. You know, you can't judge anything by the way the reaction you get in social media. If you're going to do anything, take the reaction you're getting in social media and do the opposite, because you'll probably hit a broader spectrum of fans. But if you're focusing on what makes social media happy and the internet wrestling community, the dirt sheet wrestling community happy, if you're focusing on that, goodbye. See ya.
I mean, the fact that they chose to make the news of this known by repeatedly saying we have a big announcement, a big announcement, a big announcement, and here's Tony Khan with the big announcement. I mean, that right there told me to not expect much from the start. You know, so I think they could have expected a lackluster reaction to this because of the way that they announced it. I say, big announcement 60 million times.
I can't agree with you more, Christy. We've talked about that a lot. And again, I'm going to be really careful that I don't sound like I'm picking on anybody. But we've heard that big announcement so many times, and it's been a letdown so many times that I truly, truly believe, and I mean this in the most supportive way I can say it, that AEW would be so much better served for some of these announcements to be to keep them absolutely quiet until day of the show, because you've managed the expectation. There is none. So anything you do is going to raise everybody's excitement level, because they came in expecting nothing and they're getting something. It fundamentally, it makes the surprise that you're getting feel even bigger than it really is, as opposed to feeling less than you wanted it to be. It's just so simple. And when you get to the point where you antagonize the audience a little bit, like you just said, Christy, you've become antagonized. By that I mean, you just explained to me how you knew the minute they said it was going to be a big announcement that it wouldn't be. So now you're going into that announcement negative. Whereas if there wouldn't have been a tease, you would have gone in neutral and probably went, that could be interesting. Or maybe you'd get really excited about it. But what you've been preconditioned as an audience member to go, fuck you, big announcement, stop it. You go in negative, it's wrong.
Exactly.
I know what you guys are saying, but this just in, Tony Khan just announced he will make a huge stack of pancakes. That's bad news. That's big news. Holy shit. All elite. Pancakes are all elite. Shit.
Well, maybe there's something behind it that's fun. Who knows?
I feel like the son of a billionaire doesn't know how to make pancakes. That's just my guess.
That's a good point. Well, let's
Knows
go
how to
to
order.
Can you imagine Tony Khan doing a cooking show?
Oh, man.
Flip those cakes, Tony. Well, we have got a super chat from Holland here who kind of sounds like they want to come for you a little bit, Eric. So let's turn the tables here for a moment. Holland says, hi, Eric. Why was the NWO watered down with so many members instead of being a mirror image of the Four Horsemen of old?
You know, I've answered this so many times. I'll give you your $5 back. I mean, really, it's just come up with a good question next time. I mean, it's just, I can't answer that question again. I must have answered that question 1,000 times if I've answered it once. So,
all right. Here's a better one. And this comes from someone named George Hermosa, who wants to know how much we miss George Hermosa. Thank you for that question, live viewer, and for pointing out that we have not yet mentioned that we do miss George Hermosa here today, but I'm sure he will be back again with us next week, our own encyclopedia. We miss you. Gee,
I do miss George. And you know why? Because every time when we open up, first of all, I'm telling the people that are watching this show, you miss the best part of the show. The best 3 minutes of the show, sometimes a little longer, sometimes a little less, come before we hit record. While we're getting ready. It's funny shit. We should be making a blooper reel of some of that stuff because it's really a hoot. Anyway, yeah, I miss you, George. But one of the reasons I don't want to say I don't miss you, but I'm sometimes relieved when you're not here is because I know when you are here, you're going to hit me with about 5 questions in a span of about 45 seconds. And you're going to already know the answers to the questions you ask me so that if I get one thing wrong, I feel like a dumbass.
That's George.
Oh, well, you're free from dumbassery this evening, Eric. And let's take this one from 82 Atlantic. You talked a lot about, Team Eric versus Team Garrett on TNA Lockdown this week. And 82 Atlantic wants to know if Garrett ever got a look from WWE, either before he started or after he left TNA. I like this question, Eric, because I think a lot of people assume, oh yeah, Eric Bischoff's son can do whatever he wants, right? Can take whatever opportunity he might have.
No, he never got a look from WWE. And when Garrett left TNA, I think Garrett realized that it just it wasn't a good idea to try to pursue that dream. He'd gotten serious with his now wife, and he had a real strong idea of what he wanted his life to be like after they got engaged. So he knew that living on the road, even if he would have ever gotten a look at WWE and in the incredible odds that he were to actually get picked up by them, he knew that it would not be consistent with what he was hoping to start building his life with. So no, never got a look. And I'm glad. I really am.
On this, we also announced Top Guy Weekend this week, and
Yeah.
Top Guy Zol Lopez has a question that's on the thread of Garett Bischoff, which is, Eric, how much would it cost for charity for you to beat an ad-free show Top Guy with a kendo stick like you did to Garrett? We happen to be gathering in Chicago. So
their game, lawsuits are off the table.
We're going to have to run that one by
Michael Dawkins.
Because that's just fraught with all kinds of litigation and embarrassment, TMZ headlines, and oh my God. Yeah, you have to do a little research on that, my friend.
Controversy creates cash.
That's not a no, Zol, because it sounds like you're the one. You're the one who wants to get beat up with a kendo stick.
Who is?
Zol?
I'm assuming he said a Top Guy, but I'm assuming it's Zol Lopez who is a Top Guy.
Oh, I was going to say, I thought
volunteering.
maybe he wanted to know how much he would donate to charity to beat me with a kendo stick.
Nope, he volunteers his tribute. It's the other way. He wants you to beat him with a kendo stick.
Well, we'll think about that. Maybe I'll let him beat me with a kendo stick because I know I won't sue myself.
I screenshotted it. It's going to go to the lawyer in the morning. We'll figure it out.
Well, while we're on this sort of controversy creates cash, I'm so glad you said that, Adam, because it reminds me of another headline that you made in the last week or so, Eric. Last week on Rampage, it was Good Friday. Adam Page, anyone correct me if I don't get this exactly right, put a crown of thorns on Adam Cole's head at one point in their match. You responded to a tweet and you said, do you really find this funny? People read a lot into that. Can you tell us what your opinion was of that moment?
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. If I wouldn't have seen that tweet, I might not have even registered what I saw. I would have probably not connected the dots between Easter and Good Friday, and the fact that Jesus Christ was crucified with a crown of thorns, and I wouldn't have connected the dots, and I wouldn't have been offended. I would not have been offended, and I wasn't offended by it, and I made that clear in a subsequent tweet. What I was reacting to was a Sean Ross Sapp, who I follow, and who, by the way, I like. And he's got his own unique personality, but he is also very credible to me. I say that because I know that in my experience with him, he's very careful about sourcing and double sourcing and confirming information as best he can before he publishes it, which is why I have respect for him. But some of the stuff he says sometimes make me go, huh? And he posted a picture of that scene with the barbed wire crown of thorns, which may have been completely unintentional, by the way. I don't know that there was an intent behind it, but whatever. I wasn't there. I don't know. Doesn't matter to me, really. But what I took exception to was the comment where Sean was laughing his ass off and thought that was funny. And I'm all for people being very, I hate to use the term woke because it's sometimes it's used in a very, I like people who are sensitive. I like people who are empathetic by nature. Generally, those people don't mock or make fun of other people. Generally. So I'm down with it. But I find it really ironic or worse when people who are constantly on that kind of woke bandwagon have no problem making fun of someone's religion on one of the most religious holidays of the year. I just find that interesting. And I simply ask the question, you find this funny? Question mark. And as a result of me asking a question about someone's perspective when it came to making fun of half the country's religion on one of the holiest days of the year, I thought that coming from you, that's a little interesting. And I wanted to hear. But instead what I got was, as you well could imagine, people mocking me for asking the question. But that's the nature of social media. I'm not going to lie to you. It's not like I was surprised that happened. But it was interesting, isn't it? I look, when I fuck around on Twitter, half the time I'm just trying to see what makes people tick. As bizarre as that world is, and it is a bizarre world, it's interesting to know how the people in it react to each other and what makes people react. Sometimes it's, I mess around with it all the time. I try to post funny stuff. I believe in humor. And of all the humor that I believe in, I think self-deprecating humor is sometimes the most valuable humor. So a lot of the times I'll post things on social media that I think people will have some sort of fun with. Like when Mike Tyson was beating a dog piss out of that cat on the airplane this morning, I thought that was fun. I loved that so much. And I immediately posted, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. And by the time the day's over, I'll have about, 250 or 300,000 impressions on that. Yeah. Because it's kind of funny. It is funny. Mm-hmm. You see,
you don't think it's funny, you should watch the footage.
He's behind Mike Tyson, and he's antagonizing him. He's reaching down over the top of him and talking to him and yelling at him and laughing. If I had Mike up and just beat the shit out of him. That's a good day. It's a good day. But that's the kind of stuff I post because I know people will go, yeah, that's funny. And if you want to build an audience and build, for me, if I want to build an audience, if I want to increase my platform so that when I use it to promote the things that I'm doing, like this show and other shows that we do, ad-free shows, strictly business, I need to have an audience of people who are somewhat interested in what I have to say. And I find that being positive and having humor is a big part of it. Not all the time, because sometimes I'll bust people's chops. People like that too. But I like to play around and see where the balances are. It's a fun experiment.
Quick rapid fire on some.
Yeah, and that's why you're going to be Twitter CEO once Elon gets the reins. That's exactly why.
Not unless I could do it from. Not unless I could do it from this desk in this bunkhouse.
Everybody's
that's what he wants, and then let the homeless people live in the headquarters.
In my contract,
Got it all
Elon.
figured out.
Talk to my lawyer.
All right, we got to get to a couple more of these super chats from our 83-week subscribers. This one comes from Altuan McGarvin. I think he may be trying to start something, Eric. Clearly a TNA fan. He points out that Impact does touring and they have the micro brawlers available for merchandise. He wants to know why, Eric, do you make Impact seem so relevant when they are on TV?
Because they are irrelevant. I don't know how to answer that. How many people watch it? Yes, they're on television. So is infomercials. Are they relevant? No, but at least in their case, they generate revenue. Unlike the infomercial called Impact. I don't know why they do it. But come on. It's not. And look, I can't say I didn't mean to disparage them because I just did. But it's more about my frustration in people taking little bits and pieces of things that I say, or perhaps not listening closely enough to the things I do say while I'm having fun making my point. Impact is not in the wrestling business. What is the wrestling business? Live action, television, touring, licensing, merchandising. And that's traditionally, by the way, over the last 30 years. That business model is the wrestling business. Impact is not in that business. I don't even know what the hell micro brawlers is. I thought it said micro breweries, and I was going to say, well, shit, if they're leveraging their television show to open up breweries, then they're smarter than I thought they were. But no, it's micro brawlers. I don't even know what the hell that is.
The little action figures are on Pro Wrestling Tees.
Are you kidding me?
We need a Garett Bischoff micro brawlers. That's what I'm saying.
All right. Before we get to our
please.
All right, yes, before we head over to our private after party for our ad-free shows, friends only, Mac wants to make sure that we put over JBL's charity event, which is going down on May 21st and 22nd. He says it's golf on Saturday and appearances by Jerry Lawler, Kane, and Jeff Jarrett on Sunday. It's going to be happening in Memphis, it sounds like. So everybody go ahead and check that out, Eric.
Yeah, everybody but me, because I didn't get an invitation. So what do I care? Why are we promoting this on my show? Jeff Jarrett got an invitation, but I didn't?
I think they're afraid of your golf game, E.
Yeah, that'd be it.
All right. Well, it is time for us to do our special private party for our ad-free shows, friends. So everybody who subscribes on 83 Weeks, thank you so much. If you're not, make sure you hit that big red button and turn on the notifications so you know when we go live. We do this every Thursday at 5 p.m. Pacific, breaking down the latest episode of 83 Weeks. And if you can't join us live, you can always check us out later on youtube.com/83weeks and sign up at adfreeshows.com if you want to join our private after party where it gets even crazier, if you can imagine. So thank you all so much. Top guys, hang on. We will be right back. Thanks for watching.
I want to get some water. I'll be right back.
Go for it.
Go ahead. I want whatever Eric's having. Holy shit, that was awesome.
I think it's that Tyson Flair weed.
Yes,
Is that out yet?
I don't think that's
Not
out yet.
yet.
I
Not
think
yet.
he's doing some press for it.
Yeah. And then he pressed the motherfucker